Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's your boy Zach, about to attack another review. Today I'm going to be talking about episode 4 of Loki, the Nexus Event. I'm going to be breaking down the good, the bad, and the ugly. Episode 4 Loki picks up right off where episode 3 ended. They're on the planet Lamentis, Loki and Sylvie, and the meteor is coming down, getting ready to destroy the world, and they're trying to figure out what to do. I'm going to start with the good. I was on record for saying in my last review that I felt like last episode felt a little bit like filler. I felt like a lot of stuff happened that didn't need to happen, and it wasn't going to affect the rest of the show. And watching this episode, I still feel that way. But the setting was so beautiful. It was one of the best looking apocalyptic moments I've seen in a movie or a television show. The budget was used really well. The setting of it, and then the conversation that Sylvie and Loki has. Their chemistry is off the Richter scale. I'm shipping them. I don't know. I don't care how weird it is. I don't care that they're technically the same person, or you could say that's his sister. I don't know what it is. I just know that he's a boy, she's a girl. They're from different universes. I'm shipping them. I want them to be a Loki-Sylvie couple. These two actors have amazing chemistry. They can make it work. They even kind of mentioned it in the episode a little bit. Well, more than a little bit. Yeah, there was a really sweet moment between those two where they got really vulnerable, and that's the best Loki. Watching this episode, it showed how similar Sylvie and Loki were, and how they're just at different points in their life, because they've experienced life in a different way, but they're very similar in personality. I really appreciate the moments they had as the world was ending, and how beautiful all that is, and then the beautiful conversation, two beautiful people. It was a really great scene, really touching scene. Even though obviously you're gonna find a way to get out of this. We still have 2 more episodes. It's not the last episode, so I know Marvel wouldn't take a big swing at it. But then when it happened, I wasn't mad. It was a smart way for them to get out. Another thing that was really strong in this episode was 2 of the supporting characters, and Mobius, Owen Wilson's character, and B18. I don't remember what the actor's name is. I know I've seen her in the HBO show Lovecraft Country, and I think she's a great actress, and I think she's doing a great job here too. And I feel like their emotional change, their revelations that they had in this episode really made the episode strong. Because Loki and Sylvie, those two are great. They've been great since the last episode. They were great in this episode even more because of their budding friendship and relationship. And those two really carried this episode for me emotionally, because of what they were understanding was going on with the TVA. A lot of the questions I had, you could tell that they were questioning it the whole time. We just didn't know. And I appreciated breaking down those characters in a way that made them more relatable. They're not just some mindless drones that do whatever authority tells them to do. They actually, want an answer. Another thing I like about this episode, it was a lot of surprises, a lot of surprise parts of the episode I don't want to spoil, but certain things were like, when they finally did bring them back to the TVA, they put Loki somewhere, and then we got a special surprise character that we haven't seen in a long time, and a fan favorite, a person that fans, like not a large amount of fans, but MCU fans said, where did this person go? So they popped up here, someone from Thor's history. It was pretty cool to see the person. Just that, and also what's happened toward the end of the episode, the later half of the episode, just think like emotional moment after emotional moment after emotional moment kept happening, and it was leading to so many reveals and so many different actions by the characters, and so many interesting things that happened in the episode, delving more and more into why he does the things he do, and the things that he's done to different people. That reflection going on with Mobius revelation, and them like coming heads and being able to be saying, like, feel like they're becoming friends. They always had great chemistry for all these episodes. So I feel like that relationship, really, all the building blocks that we had throughout the first 3 episodes really came to a head in this episode, and they had a really emotional moment that almost brought a tear to my eye. And I have to give up to Owen Wilson, who's playing Mobius, for doing a great job. I'm used to him being in comedies, but he did really good emotional acting in this episode that really made me care about a character who I haven't spent that much time with. Let's talk about the bad. So I absolutely love this episode. It had me on the edge of my seat for the most part. For me, the best episode. So the bad is not that much. But one thing I noticed that throughout the whole series, I think the fight scenes are not filmed or choreographed really well. I gave it a pass because all the other stuff was so interesting. TVA, the variants, Sylvie, all the reveals that's going on, like in episode 3, revealing that all the people in the TVA are variants, not created by the timekeepers. All that stuff has been carrying the show, plus the performances by the actors. But the fighting has never been that great. But we only had a little bit small part. But there's a big action scene in this show, and it felt like the directors and writers put it in there because they felt like we need to have an action scene. It's a Marvel show. It has to have some action or people are going to be upset. It didn't feel like they put their heart into it. It's a minor complaint. Some people might not care, but that took me out of it a little bit. I was watching it and I was like, this is not that great. And another thing that was a bad for me personally, might not be a bad for a lot of people, but just me personally, was the after credit scene. I feel like the after credit scene should have been saved for the next episode because something big happens at the end of the episode and it really pulled at my heartstrings. But then the after credit scene kind of put it back together. Like they didn't trust the fans to be able to handle that emotional moment, and they wanted to repair it right away. It's a really great scene, and I'm super hyped about what it means and what could happen for the next episode. But I just wish it was the beginning of the next episode. I felt like that would have been to leave me with the emotional moment that ended the episode before the after credit scene, and let me sit with that for the week, and then to show that in the beginning would have been a better thing for the episodicness of it. So I felt like it just made everything that happened in this episode that impacted hard be less, because I don't want to spoil what it was, but a lot of people complain that Marvel most of the time doesn't have high stakes. There's no weight to things because people come back to life, and it's kind of that. But I do understand, talking to some of my friends about the episode, why they probably did it, because some of them were gonna stop watching the show before the after credit scene happened because of that emotional moment. And for me, I like them taking the big swing and risk that I thought they were gonna do, but it's not for everybody. I don't understand it's not for the masses. Let's talk about the ugly. This is a minor thing, but I just saw it was so funny. So there's a part with that cameo that happened in the show with Loki is having a moment with somebody that's from his past, that's been in the Thor movies, and they get physical in it multiple times over and over to kind of teach him a point about his past. But the the actual physicality and the fighting looked laughable. It took me so much out of the episode. I was like, what's going on? Why does it look? It doesn't look like the person's hitting Loki at all. It doesn't look like they were actually touching each other. I know that they don't do that. They usually angle it in a way so they're not hitting the actors, but it's just very, very noticeable in this one. And that was part of what I was saying before in the bad section, where the action scenes are the weakest part of the show. So I thought that was really, really bad. I don't think a lot of people would notice it. I don't know if it was done on purpose because that part was comical, so maybe they made the action scene comical, but it didn't hit for me. So questions for you guys, for the viewers, for people who know the Loki comics, with that end credit scene, where do you think things are going now? Because the one thing I could say about this series, I feel like I never know where it's going, where we're going to. What's the end destination? For most part, for Marvel, since I'm such a big fan of the comics and some of the animated series, I kind of know what is coming for the most part, even if they deviate a little bit. But with this, I have no idea. So drop your comments down below and let me know, what do you think is going to happen next because of the after credit scene? What's the next episode going to be about? Who is the real villain? We only have 2 episodes left, and I feel like we haven't discovered who the villain of the show is, which is fine because it's really about Loki and Sylvie and the people with the TVA. What would you like to see to happen next? Drop those answers in the comments below. I'm really excited to interact with you down there and talk about it. Now let's talk about my verdict. I think this episode is a must watch. It was my favorite episode so far of the 4. Like I said, I really loved episode 1 and 2. Episode 3, I really liked it as well, but it did feel like filler. But this was right back on track. There were certain moments I felt like I wish could have gotten more breathing room, but I understand it's only 6 episodes, so they gotta go. So I'm really excited for episode 5. Please like, subscribe, and comment below how you feel about my review and how you feel about the episode and your favorite moments. And peace.